the question for this particular segment or video is, who created mixed martial arts? Did the Gracies, the Gracie brothers, the Gracie family create mixed martial arts? The answer is no, they did not. Did Many people are probably expecting me to say this, that Bruce Lee created mixed martial arts? No, he did not. But who created mixed martial arts? Let's define mixed. It is various fighting styles and or systems, concepts and principles of fighting being used together or in tandem, formulating an effective means of fighting for the individual who employs it. That's what it is. It's someone who engages in more than one discipline of fighting for their own personal development and use. That's mixed martial arts. Even if it were not called mixed martial arts, it's still what it is. Someone who is using an array of martial arts styles and or disciplines. So before Bruce Lee, yes, before Bruce Lee lived and was even born, mixed martial arts were occurring and existed all across the world. In Africa, in Asia, of course, in the arts and systems of Kung Fu, it was not uncommon for martial artists, practitioners, masters, and so forth to have studied more than one discipline. In China, you have Tai Chi. Tai Chi was pretty popular in Chinese history. There are some people who studied more than one form of Tai Chi. So that could be considered mixed martial arts. You know, it's the Wu style, the Qian style, the Chang style, the Sun style, and so forth of Tai Chi. And it was not uncommon for people who studied Tai Chi to also have studied Bagua Zhang or Xing Yi, all which have been categorized by Western definition as soft styles, but they are effective as martial arts systems just the same. And it's not even uncommon in Korea for people who have studied or trained in Taekwondo or Tong Sudo to have also studied Hapkido, which is a Korean martial art as well, or maybe even sword fighting in Korea. It's not uncommon in Japan for people who have studied martial arts systems and or styles such as Goju-ryu, Shotokan, Ishinryu, and so forth to have also studied Kendo or Kenjutsu or Yedo and even Ju-jitsu and even Judo. That's mixed martial arts. There were many masters back in the yesteryears that would meet up with other masters that would even travel to learn their arts, their particular arts, and to share knowledge on specific arts. Where they found maybe something was lacking in their system or something that appealed to them from another art, they would share their particular knowledge and or techniques. So mixed martial arts goes back hundreds and even thousands of years before the Gracies were ever known, and before, yes, Bruce Lee was ever known of. So in modern day times, Bruce Lee can be accredited as someone who exposed the concept of mixed martial arts to the world through his personal training, his students, his schools, and then on film, because Bruce Lee had amassed an extensive library on various systems and forms of fighting, and he utilized those in his own system, which he later called Jeet Kune Do, the way of the intercepting fist or feet. Jeet Kune Do was a compilation strongly grounded in Wing Chun, Kung Fu, had boxing, Western boxing, which he adored. He really respected Muhammad Ali. He also had fencing concepts in his art. He had French savate in his art. Yes, Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do consisted of the concepts and the principles of many other martial arts systems or styles that Bruce Lee found beneficial to him as an individual in fighting. And many people adapted those principles and our concepts for themselves. And even he himself made the statement. He said, if you're going to argue about the name of Jeet Kune Do, if it's this or that, let the name be wiped away forever. It's not about it being a greater fighting system or style than any other. It's an individual journey that we should all be on. This is me saying this now. So what I'm saying in essence is this: the martial arts should fit you, not you fit the martial arts. So if you're studying a particular discipline and it's lacking in some capacity or another as it relates to what's useful for you, then you need to research other martial arts styles and or systems to find and take away those other elements that are beneficial to you. Use what is useful, in other words. So as I began to say, Bruce Lee actually did make mixed martial arts popular in the Western world and even the world abroad. Now, it was the Gracie brothers, to their credit, who pushed it along and who have given it its popularity today even more because of the advent of the internet, which didn't exist during the time Bruce Lee was here. It's not to say that mixed martial arts or his way of fighting and his concepts would have not grown in popularity. Had he still lived, it would have, but it would probably still be progressively moving slower, because now we have such mass media and we have the internet and things move lightning fast today. And that is part of why the mixed martial arts craze, if you will, for lack of a better expression, is so rampant. That is why it is still continuing to move fast and faster, because the internet, you see mixed martial arts, you see traditional martial arts, you see all types of martial arts, and I hear people here lately talking about fantasy martial arts even, and that's what people thought was martial arts. But now, since the advent of the UFC and pride fights and things of this sort, they're saying that fantasy martial arts has to take the back seat now because it's not practical in today's time, and people were disillusioned, if you will, and thought that what they knew of before the advent again of the internet, that was the real thing. So again, just to clarify, mixed martial arts has been around, or the combining of martial arts styles and systems has been around since the beginning of time, for hundreds of thousands of years even. And Bruce Lee introduced mixed martial arts in the modern day sense as we have seen it. It's not that it didn't exist already, but he made it popular. You can see that in Enter the Dragon. Okay, you can see him using grappling in the beginning of this movie, Enter the Dragon. You can also see him using boxing in his movies. You can also see him using sabat in his movie. You can also see him using fencing moves. You can also see him using Filipino martial arts, which he did indeed learn from his student Dan and Santo, and to include the nunchakus, to include the eskrima sticks, and so forth. So he used mixed martial arts early on. Now, early 90s, here comes the Gracies, the Gracie family, Horace Gracie, UFC 1. They introduced Brazilian Jiu-jitsu. Now, ever since then, the rest is history now. They become famous worldwide. Everybody and their mother wants to do mixed martial arts or participate in the UFC, competitors and that, but they are not the ones responsible for mixed martial arts. They just made it more popular than Bruce Lee. So as I close, I salute all of the innovators, the creators of the martial arts and mixed martial arts for the thousands of years, the hundreds of thousands of years that we have been on this planet as human beings, men and women. I also salute Bruce Lee for popularizing mixed martial arts during his time, his era. And I salute also the Gracies for making it even more popular in today's society and adding more of a realistic approach to fighting and showing those martial arts practitioners that only fought one element or one elemental uh, aspect of fighting, that the other aspect of fighting on the ground is as important as standing is important. But I will say also with that statement that I have never noticed, I have never observed the Gracies capitalize standing. So that is not an indictment against them. I'm just simply saying we have to be well rounded as martial artists, martial arts practitioners. We can't just say, I can beat you or I'm a greater fighter than you, and we're only using one element of fighting and denying ourselves or limiting ourselves to just that one element of fighting, especially when you are pitted against someone who has many, many aspects or elements of fighting in their repertoire. It's just the truth. This is Brother Teacher. What do you think? I'm out.